right. Impact Wrestling. A few weeks away from Emergence, we get this show. You see the title. I'm not changing it. Because I'm going to be honest to you guys. There's one, you know who you are. You leave me to sign it. How you doing? You left me a comment explaining what's going on with TNA again. Talking about new recordings will be coming up. And possibly next year, they will be traveling around. And maybe going live. And you wanted me to know this ahead of time before talking about nothing happening on this episode of Impact. I got this to tell you and everybody else. I want to make this clear before I say it, because I don't want you to think I don't love TNA. I want to make this clear to anybody who watches this. No matter it's the ones who already know me and the new people here. How you doing? I am one of the rare people. I'm telling you this. I'm not bragging. There's no point to brag. I am one of the most rarest people you will find. If you look through all the videos, going back to the very first ones, within the first 10 to 20 videos, I was already doing TNA at the time in 2010. No, 2012, my mistake, 2012. I was watching it in 2010. And I was inspired by the British Fist. Yeah, that's an oldie but a goodie. The Off the Rope Show, the original one, not Off the Rope Show Central. There were several others. I can't remember them right now because it's been so many years. But there were many people that inspired me to do this. Next to me doing this because of depression and anxiety that was messing with me badly. I have been doing this for 12 straight years, almost constantly. I could have stopped doing TNA and then when it turned to Impact, and now going back to TNA many years ago. I could have stopped when Global Force Wrestling merged with it. I could have stopped many years ago, but I stuck with it because I still love this damn company. And yes, it's owned by Anthem. I still love it, and I get my opinions on it. But I'm going to tell you this. When I was left that comment saying this is what's about to happen, there's supposed to be some people that are going to show up that are not from TNA. There's going to be some stuff that's going to happen next year, 2025. Well, that's nice. But some of that stuff should already been implemented already. Going live should have already happened. Finding venues should have already happened. The way this collaboration has been structured should be better. And the most important thing about going live already, having better quality of camera work, lighting, audio, already going live, like I said earlier, already finding better venues, having a better collaboration with WWE, where they should be giving us more than just the bare minimum. The product itself, when it comes to its writing, should be different a little bit, or better. You look at this show, what have you gotten that is better? Now, I'm not taking anything that's being set up for Emergence. The qualifying matches is a good thing. That's all right. Nick Nimitz going up against Josh is good, but I will get to that in a moment. But the one thing that makes no sense, and there's several things that make no sense here in this show that is confusing because of them either doing it so abruptly or dropping it, is this. Before we get started, Speedball Mike Bailey has a match with, Speedball Mike Bailey. We have Trent Seven, and we have Zachary Wentz. Qualifying match for the Ultimate X for Emergence. And they're supposed to be doing the 6 men each for the qualifying, supposedly at Emergence, before they even do the Ultimate X match. Supposedly that's what they were talking about. But we got qualifying matches here. But they're supposed to be something. I might be getting confused because, to be honest, if we're supposed to have qualifying matches here, and then there's supposed to be extra matches again before the Ultimate X, I'm still a little confused about that. Because that's what the qualifying matches are for, isn't it? You guys can tell me below, because the way they were talking, it sounds like we're having 2 sets of matches before the Ultimate X. The qualifying matches to get into the extra match, and then the extra match that's going to be set up for Ultimate X that same night. Now, I could be right. If I'm wrong, guys, comment below. But when we get Speedball Mike Bailey saying, I don't want to sit in my laurels, I want to be a part of this qualifying system and then be part of Ultimate X, why is he doing that? That makes no damn sense. It doesn't. What is going on? Why does he have to prove anything when he should automatically be in the Ultimate X match anyway? That is how they do it. Doing this gives an extra step that makes no sense and takes away from another wrestler who could be in the qualifying match. That could have been, guess who, if he's not going to be mentioned next couple of weeks, a Leon Slater, a Reed, I forgot what the guy's name. He was working with the Rascals. Why, if they're not going to be in their matches, if like a Leo Rush could show up, maybe he might. But wouldn't it be good to have one of those people here in this match instead of Speedball himself? This was stupid. And what makes it worse, which made it obvious he was going to win, he made it very clear, if he doesn't win the qualifying match, he shouldn't be X Division champion. So now it was set up that if he fails, his title will become vacant immediately, and the winner of the Ultimate X would be the new champion. Are you seriously trying to tell me that you're doing this? Here, the first qualifying match, the opening of the show for the qualifying, and you say Speedball wants to be in the match. Then you say if Speedball loses, he vacates the title. It's not that Wentz gets the title. No. It's not that Trent Seven doesn't get the title. No, neither one of them get it. It goes up for grabs at Emergence. What the fuck is that? That takes away from Wentz, who should have a feud with, guess who, Wesley, but it counts on if NXT is going to do that. If they're going to set that up, I don't even know if they're going to do that, because we didn't see any type of vid pack in the back talking about Wentz getting betrayed along with Trey, and they want revenge from Wesley. I don't know if they're going to do that. They probably will not. The way they were acting like it doesn't make a difference. This is what Tom was saying, and Matthew saying, oh, it's horrible what happened. They're trying to just refocus and just move on. That means any feud that could have happened with Wesley and Wentz is gone. Because that's the way they're talking about. Unless there might be something that's about to happen on Emergence. Maybe. Unless it's going to happen on NXT TV, which I wouldn't be too surprised, because West is there and they'd rather have Zach over there than have it on TNA TV. You can see I'm getting angry here. I'm not reviewing. If I explode on this video, I am not replaying this again. I'm not doing it again. But you know who won it. It was Speedball. What a fucking waste of time. It was a waste. If anybody liked it, more power to you. I'm happy for you. This was stupid. This was stupid. It was bad enough you made him in the qualifying because he feels like he's got to be involved. But to vacate the damn title, it telegraphed it. Stupid. Let's move on. Another match that legitimately we've been waiting for, but then what happened? We get Jonathan Gresham going up against Kushida. The old octopus reappears. Not the new one with the ink in his hand. Spitting up in Kushida's mouth. Spitting up and making the ref sick. Kushida going literally to supposedly a lab, dressed in a lab coat, taking a swab of Kushida's mouth with a piece of paper or napkin to analyze it, and now all of a sudden he's just fine. They have a regular match, and Jonathan loses. What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? We went through weeks upon weeks of seeing vignettes of Jonathan Gresham looking different, acting different, coughing up whatever it was. We thought it was going to be leading somewhere. And then because he couldn't be there, either because he was in trouble or because of travel problems, we get the entire thing dropped. And now he goes back to the old Jonathan Gresham. This was the most interesting Jonathan has been since his run in TNA. And they don't continue it. They just freaking drop it like it was boring. I don't even know if I'm putting images in this video. I don't know. If I got an image of him with Kushida, it's in my face. I'm going, what the fuck was that? Why would you drop it without even trying to complete it? Kushida was acting weird throughout the entire match. Well, at least not throughout the entire match. The beginning of the match. And before that, shaking hands. Nothing happens. The match happens. It's over. And it feels like it was a waste of fucking time. Why put it on TV? Let's move on. Let's do the open challenge. Understand, this is not about the match quality and the people in it. This is about the build for it. Let's make this very clear. Rosemary was giving something new. She's not doing the Demon Assassin, even though she's from the Undead Realm. She's not with Black Taurus, Crazy Steve. She's not with Allie, going pretty far back. She's not with anyone. She's by herself. She's been harassing Ash of Elegance more. The concierge, the Iceman, more than anyone else. We get this match, which doesn't make a lot of sense. Because we had only one match. One match for Rosemary. The first match in months. Months for Rosemary. Before that, we just got video packages. We got her standing in places holding a knife. Now holding she had a cleaver. And now she has a butcher's knife. And I'm like, wouldn't it be good to have more matches? You didn't have to do this yet. You could have built this up to go in Emergence. I wouldn't have a problem with Rosemary having a match against Jordan Grace at Emergence. What's wrong with that? Nothing. Why not build a Rosemary up to do it? No. We just get the match now. And then it wasn't a bad match. I won't say it was perfect. There was some botchiness in it. It wasn't bad, but it was a little botchy. Maybe due to the fact they don't wrestle each other in such a long time, they kind of forgot. We get Ash of Elegance coming down with a kendo stick. And then we get her whooping both their asses. The ref throws out the match. And what does it sound like? It sounds like we're going to have a triple threat. I would rather see, this is me, set something up for Ash to deal with Rosemary because she hasn't dealt with her yet. Set up Rosemary to deal with Ash because she hadn't dealt with her yet. Why are you setting up a triple threat that either's going to be for the next couple of weeks or at Emergence when you haven't even built up a Rosemary other than one match? And more than that, they don't even show any video packages or segments in the back where Rosemary is screwing with the concierge because she seemed to be fixated on him, kind of like Johnny Bravo. And we don't even get that. We get this. And I'm like, look, I'm not against Ash. I'm not against Rosemary. I'm not against Jordan Grace. What are we getting here? We're getting just matches and not even a build for people who are being brought back. I'm just saying, moving on. Let's get to the qualifying match, the second qualifying match for the X Division and the Ultimate X match. We get Zachary Wentz. We get Dante Chen, who is from WWE Speed and a couple of times on NXT, but mainly Speed now. And Navarro. That they've shown him at least once or twice already. One, the camera could not keep up with them. It was very sloppy. It was sloppy as hell. And I know everyone's not going to agree with me. They're not. But if you notice, while the match was, even with Jonathan Gresham and Kushida, it wasn't as bad as this match. Kushida and Jonathan Gresham, it was like the cameraman couldn't decide if he wanted to zoom in like this a lot and hold it there or try to do a little bit of that, but then chose not to. That's almost the way it was like that. For Jonathan Gresham and Kushida, it happened a couple of times, not much. It actually didn't take away from the match. Here, it was like the cameraman could not keep up, and they kept trying to zoom in, And it did not work. It's like they regressed in this particular match. And look, I want to make this clear to anyone. There are off days for cameramen. It happens. Yes, I know it. But consistently off when it was Impact, I had to call it out. Constantly, consistently, they were off doing this. Then this. And so close you couldn't see anything. And I'm sure everyone's going to say, oh, here you go with the camera work. I have to be honest here. This is an off day for this match. And in the end, Zachary Wentz wins. But since I did talk about this earlier, when it comes to him and Wes Lee, where it's probably Wes Lee is not going to show up on the show, it will be dealt with on NXT TV. I do believe Zachary Wentz will go to NXT TV, and he's going to mess with Wes, and they're going to have a match. That's where I think it's going to happen. I think that's what's going to happen. It will not happen here. I do believe it'll happen over there. But you never know. I pulled muscle on my shoulder. Damn it. Ow. You see, this is like the Gump Report. If anybody's seen my Gump Report, you know I'll say anything. You never know what you're going to get. If my shoulder just go ping because I pulled the muscle on my arm, I'm going like, damn it. I'm going to say it. I'm not, everybody is just going to not. This is just how I am. I am like Naomi. If anybody knows Trinity or Naomi, her heart is on her sleeve. You can literally, well, not on her shoulder, but on her sleeve right here. You can tell that she's not happy about something, or you can tell when she's happy. You can always tell. Me, I'm that type of person. I will tell you on this video. Now, mind you, in real life, I'm a little more shy, so I don't really say it much. But here I do. All right, let's get to the main event. Before I talk about the remaining stuff in the back, we get the match that needed to happen, which I'm not having a problem with it. It had to happen, and I'm fine with it. This was a Wolfgang from the Gallus guys. Well, I could say anything else, but these are Gallus guys for the simple reason they'll be taking over for the Brawling Brutes. Since they've been gone for a while, and eventually they will come up to the main roster. They are the new Brawling Brutes. And then you got Joe Henry, who is over like stink. The people were cheering so loudly for him. Whether the arena was small or large, this recorded episode, which shouldn't have been recorded, it should have been live. They should be live already. If they wanted to do something different, they should have already been live already. I don't care what you say. They should have already been live. When they started this, they had months ahead of time to prepare for this. They should have been live. But, seeing the match Wolfgang, you got a little bit of a talk with Joe Henry, but then he made it very clear, I'm not going to play around. There's just one last thing I need to talk about or need to do, and he just beats down a little bit of the Wolfgang. It was fine. Okay match. It wasn't like it was a bad match. These two actually look like they recognize each other's styles. It looks like they worked together at least a couple of times. So at least they knew how to be able to deal with each other's weaknesses. In the end, who do you think was going to win? Who? You know it was going to be Joe. Joe wins. There's no problem. He had to win. There's no problem with that. I have no anger towards Wolfgang losing here. He's supposed to lose. And Dante Chan. Yes, he actually looked pretty good in this match, in that qualifying match, but he was going to lose too. There was no way they're going to let him win. Because of how the arrangement is for the collaboration. It's the truth. Let's make it clear. What have we gotten with this collaboration when it comes to TNA? We have gotten very, very, very low-hanging fruit wrestlers. No one highly substantial except for Wes Lee, who was already from TNA originally. So if you take him out of the equation, take Wes Lee out of the equation, all we got were low-hanging fruit wrestlers. No one substantial. Wolfgang may be a part of Gallus, but he's never been as important in Gallus. He's just the person who works with Joe and Mark Coffey. So nothing has changed here. Now, stuff in the back. What did we get from the system? Not much. 6 minutes of talking about them getting their titles back eventually. And Alicia trying her best. Alicia doing her best to be the one with the championship and the one who's the most heelish because she is the only one with a title. I will tell you this when it comes to Alicia. As much as I'm not a fan of her, I commend her that she is taking the lead to try and convince everyone that the system is important. She's being heavily annoying on purpose. And that is a good thing that people will notice that as a heel, you can either be vicious, condescending, arrogant, or annoying. She's being annoying. So that's fine. She's done her job. Next, let's talk about ABC. ABC talked about being special, talked about meaning something, being the first champions of, excuse me, of the new era of TNA. And during that talk afterward, well, after the VidPack, they got Speedball approaching them and saying clearly, guys, I'm not here to fight with you. I want to congratulate you for winning your championships. And I want to thank you both because the person you see in front of you has become the way he is because of both of you. Because they were both from X Division. But he asked them, could you please go into Ultimate X? Go for the qualifying. They weren't sure if they wanted to do it. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that. Oh. I'm sorry. I had a bad mucus buildup. I had to get rid of it. Oh, right now it's 93% humidity in New York. It's raining. It's been raining on and off all day because of the tropical storm, Darby. And right now the humidity is so high. And if you're the type of person that has issues with allergies, it feels like the mucus in your throat is choking you and you want to just vomit. Oh, I had to just blow my nose and cough up some snot. Sorry to be graphic, but let's make it clear. It ain't easy being a podcaster. And I'm the type that likes to just tell the truth. I'm not just going to turn off the camera and just be like everybody else and just turn it back on and just blah, 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 blah. It's not the right thing to do sometimes. Sometimes realism is important. It's the reason why people see you as genuine. Tell me something. This off topic of pro wrestling. Tell me something. You leave me a comment below. This is honestly, I really want a comment from people about this situation. I know I'm not a big wrestling podcaster. I'm like, tell me this. You can look at Just Alex, JD, Solomon, so they're like here. I am like here. But tell me, who feels more genuine? It's not about if the quality of my reviews are better than theirs. It's not. Let's be honest. They got their own intros, great intros. They got their sponsors. They got contacts in wrestling. I don't. It's just me. But which one feels more genuine? Is it me or with them? And I'm not knocking them. They're being as genuine as they can under the situation they're at. They're making a living off of pro wrestling reviews, podcasting, news, reviews, previews, their speculations on new wrestlers coming in, new wrestlers coming out, who's been injured, who's not been injured, what type of controversies like what's going on with Britt Baker and MJF and AEW, and they're doing all that with as much possibility of honesty and feeling genuine as much as they can. But which one feels more genuine? Is it going to be someone like me or someone like them? And I'm not knocking them. I'm not making any money off of this. Guys, look, I'm using equipment that's like 6, 7, or 8 years old, okay? This equipment you see, this thing right here, I am using a Canon M6 with a Zoom H1N. That's all I got. If I took a picture of it and stuck it on here, you could see it for yourself. This is all I got. I'm not trying to be rich. I'm not trying to be famous. I'm just being me. So, going back to the reason why I did this, if I'm going to say I almost threw up my lunch because of the mucus buildup due to the fact the humidity is over 90% in New York and it's still raining, and your head feels like this because of the, what is it called, the kind of bars, I forgot the name of it, not the precipitation, but pretty much when it comes to the barometric pressure, there you go. And it feels like your head's a little bit squishy. You got a little mucus here. You want to just go, bleh. This is it. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to add it on. I'm sorry. Let's get back to what you think is going to happen with ABC. They said simply, and this is Ace talking to Bay. He says, you know, when we went down this road once before, we had our issues. But you were right. we had to do some stuff. So they look like each one of them may actually go into the ring and actually qualify separately. I think that would be the wise thing. They don't qualify, being the same qualifying match together. They need to be separate. It'll make it feel more important. That's what I think is the most important thing here. That's what I'm hoping for. Now, wait a minute. Was the original video I talked about with Bailey, did it have... Oh, I'm sorry. I want to say right now, because I'm sure I totally forgot about who was in the match in the beginning. When it was Trent, Bailey, and Jake something. If I didn't say Jake something, I'm sorry. Like I said, I've been feeling like I want to... Sorry. So just in case you think I didn't know who it was, I did. Maybe I'll leave a video there saying, I'm sorry, I forgot, but... No, I'll leave a little comment there on the video that says, sorry guys, I forgot about Jake, but I did remember it later in the video. There you go. Next, Tasha Steelz dealing with a Gazelle Shaw. Let me give it to you like this. What are we getting with Gazelle Shaw? We were supposed to get a reboot of her, and they start rebuilding her. But we really haven't seen much of her. We haven't seen much of a rebuild of her. Now we got Tasha Steelz, who jobbed multiple times to, well, pretty much when you see her with Zaya Brookside, she hasn't really done much. And now you got both of them tied together, which I don't think that's all they can, how can I say this? I felt like Gazelle Shaw should be booked special and should get jobbers to help build herself up. Tasha Steelz, the same thing. Get a couple of women, let her get a couple of wins under her belt, and if you are going to stick them back together, or stick them together, then that would make sense. But no, neither one of them has really done much. Yeah, when it comes to Gazelle Shaw, she did lose and did win as well. And now when it comes to Tasha Steelz, she beat her twice. Even though Gazelle Shaw did get a win on her own at one time in between those two losses. And one of them was that Explosion. So it's like, we don't really build these women up. You're not willing to bring any jobbers in. Or do more vid packs in the back with these women to make them feel important. Yes, when it comes to Tasha's vid pack after she won against Gazelle, and they showed it. Well, not vid pack, but basically her talk, saying she's going after the title, was okay. But I would have liked to have some more wins than just 2 against Gazelle Shaw, and Gazelle Shaw just gets a win from somebody else. You expect them to at least build these women up, and they haven't. They haven't. And the key of this isn't that they're not just building up, giving them video packages in the back and segments in the back. Where are the jobbers? Where do you see them actually feel like they're important to the people when they're out in that ring? I'm sorry. They could do a lot more, and they're not. Let's move on. Alright. Josh Alexander. His talk, where he started botching a little bit, and the audio started glitching. At first, I thought he was just botching his words, because he did botch a couple of times. But then I started hearing his voice go in and out, and I don't think it's because of the weather messing with his throat. It was the audio messing up. You can even hear it when it comes to the commentary team, that the audio levels kept changing on and off. And I'm like, really? But what he said was basic. He made it very clear that he is the heart and soul of this company. He's the one to put it on his back. And when it comes to Nick Nimitz, I didn't lose my damn title. I want a shot. So he calls out Nick. And also calls out Nick from WWE. He doesn't say Dolph, but he calls him Nick. He basically calls Nick out as a transitional champion in WWE. And I agree with Matthew that wrestlers do not like to hear the word transitional. That makes them mad, because you know for a fact when you hear a wrestler being called a transitional champion, it makes them feel like, and it does show, that they're not valued by the company. That it's just temporary, it just gives them a little time, and then they just throw them back to the wolves because they don't think anything of them. Some companies have done that. And I agree with Matthew. He's right. But this is what was interesting. When you see Nick come out, he didn't even say anything, roughly. He jabs the mic into Josh's face or throat, beats that ass, and said, you want a match? I'll give it to you next week. You want it? There's no problem. I'm not someone who hides from anybody. I do the business. And I like that. Now, mind you, that could be considered heelish. But you already got Josh, who is a heel. He is. And Nick is not acting like a heel. He's just acting like someone who's been jaded pretty badly, which, let's make it clear. Nick Nimitz, the original Dolph Ziggler, had worked in the company for almost, from 2006 or 5, I believe. I can't remember when he joined. I know someone's going to correct me. I just don't remember. He's been there for years. I even made a video about Dolph Ziggler leaving the company. I never put it into a playlist, but it's in the, I think, 2014, I think I made of that video, or 15. I said Dolph Ziggler needs to leave. Just like with Naomi, Dolph Ziggler needs to leave. I said that. And I'm sure, even though he was the person, break glass, hey, he deserves better. Now, two more things. The segment that made the most sense, but then, no, video pack, not the segment. Video packs made sense, but then it really made no sense. Staff Delander, waiting for her PCO, looking all sexy, looking all pretty, looking all woo. Then getting into a jacuzzi, or just a bath, not bathtub, but one of those jet tubs, as you know it, and letting all those jets go over her body. Damn, I wonder myself. Hearing that. She's waiting for PCO, but who does she get when she thought she's going to be able to show her boobies when she opens the door? It is Matt Cardona. Matt Cardona is trying to talk to her, and he says, listen to me. He says, I'm married. Leave me alone. This is my honeymoon. Locks the door. There's no PCO. I know I'm skipping over when she's trying to text him, or trying to call him, but gets his voice message. We get to see at the very end of the show, we get to see PCO held down by two guys, which are probably the helping hands, because Matt Cardona has dealt with them. And he says, don't touch my stuff. Know your place. Don't touch my stuff. And kicks his head in, and they go black. Right when he's about to get his head kicked in. Here's the problem. It was done pretty well. I will tell you, it was actually done well. But here's the problem. This should have never happened. He should have stopped the wedding. Matt Cardona should have came, stopped the wedding, and then having to fight for Matt Cardona, then you can get the wedding happen after he's been beaten. You could actually have the wedding at, I know you're going to say, are you crazy? If you're going to book it correctly, because it's not booked correctly, Matt Cardona should have stopped the wedding. PCO should have never been able to marry Staff Delander. He's still trying to be with her. He's being cock-blocked by a Matt Cardona. And then Matt is finally stopped at Bound for Glory. And they get married at Bound for Glory. Then you can go from there. But we don't got that. We get this, which makes no sense. Him saying, don't mess with my stuff when he's married to her. It makes no sense for him to be saying this at this point when he should have stopped the damn marriage in the first place. Because he was there, he could have stopped it when it said, if anybody has something to say, speak now. He should have came out and stopped the damn thing instead of First Class coming out. Oh, my nose is itching, I'm sorry. And I think the reason it's making my nose itch because it's pissing me off. And the final thing, the last thing I'm going to talk about, and this is going to be over 32 minutes, so I hope you're enjoying it, because this is a rare time I'm going beyond 30 minutes. It's going beyond 30, baby, because this is what made me angry. 3 or was it 4 times, Matthew or Tom says, you're about to see what we're going to talk about for Bound for Glory. We get video, video showing, I believe it was a Mustang, a modern day Mustang, with the date 10/26/2024. Over and over again. I think it was 3 or 4 times. And I'm thinking, okay, they just showed that it's coming. Does this special announcement, what is it going to be? Is it going to be about the Hall of Fame? Is it going to be some type of special match? No. It is just showing them in the previous Bound for Glories and talking about they're going to Detroit. Going to Detroit. Detroit, Michigan. Why did you hype this up when you didn't have anything extra to go with it? And worst yet, and I'm sure I'm right. I could be wrong, but I'm right. The last time Bound for Glory was in Detroit, Michigan was 2006. Why didn't... Well, you see I'm getting angry. Why didn't Tom say this is special? The last time we were there was in 2006. Matthew, yeah, the last time we were there was 2006. None of it. So you just went 3 or 4 times hyping something that didn't need to be hyped like that. And then you didn't add anything to the hype that you just gave, which should have been, guys, this is special. You could have zoomed in on Tom and Matthew and say, guys, this is so special. The last time TNA was in Detroit, Michigan, and the place we're going was 2006. This is historic. No, just about the tickets. Nothing about any special matches. Nothing about the Hall of Fame. Nothing. Guys, I know no one's going to listen to me. They're going to say, I'm just hating TNA. No. I'm giving you legitimate reasons why there's something wrong. And I know that several people are going to start leaving comments saying, dude, why are you doing this? Or I'd be surprised if anybody agrees with me. Very few do. But listen to me. We are now nearly 7 months into this new era of TNA. What have we gotten special or different? Nothing. Look, I'm taking a long time with this video. This video is going to be almost 40 or 50 minutes long. But we got nothing different. Think about it for a minute. We have worked with other companies over the years. Like I said, Border City Wrestling, even though it's got the most show in his promotion. AAA. Yeah, AAA. AEW. Pro Wrestling Noah. New Japan Pro Wrestling. DDT. Dragon Gate, I believe. We even worked with them at one point. Every time when we work with them, anytime we work with them, either they're not getting sponsored or we're not even getting anything done correctly, because whenever we start getting their wrestlers thrown at us, there's no usual vid packs, there's no real storylines, they're just straight matches that don't lead anywhere. What do we got right now? We got Joe Henry dealing with Wolfgang, and that's mostly due to the fact of what's going on in NXT. And yes, it is a crossover, and we are getting some of the story here. But the main reason that it's working so well is because Joe Henry got himself over outside of TNA. That's true. Then we got what happened with Wes Lee, Zachary Wentz, Trey Miguel, all mainly over in NXT. But now NXT just let Wes Lee knock the head off of Zachary as well as Trey. And they just show up right now. Upset, but get this moment to win. But we don't even get a video of Zachary Wentz upset about what happened or wanting to get revenge. Not even here. We get now 2 wrestlers from NXT. We get, well, I'm not against either one of them. I'm not against Wolfgang, and I'm definitely not against Dante Chung. I'm not. But they're the most low-hanging fruit wrestlers. They come from NXT. They're the most lowest ranked ones. Look, Dante Chan is on WWE Speed. And he has gone on NXT a couple times, but now he's back on Speed. He's not on the main show. Then you get Wolfgang. He's working in Gallus that was dealing with Joe Henry. If it wasn't for Joe Henry, do you actually think they'd do anything with Wolfgang special? No. The most they ever done with anyone would be actually Joe Coffey. Not Wolfgang. So again, I tell you, what is TNA gaining from here? What? I'm not even against them. I want more for TNA. Step this damn thing up. We literally got an announcement for Bound for Glory, finally. I even said this in the last week. Or a few days ago. We haven't even gotten an announcement for Bound for Glory. We just did. We got 3 announcements. Something special about to happen with Bound for Glory. Something amazing. Guess what? They said it's in Detroit. They don't even state why it's so special. They just said Detroit is going to be great. It's going to be wonderful. You can get the tickets there. They didn't say that Detroit, the place we're going to, is the same place we were at in 2006. They didn't say none of that. None of it. So it's upsetting. But this is just me. I could be wrong. You could think I'm a nut. In fact, you know what? I may not even putting images here. I'm just going to splice the 2 videos together, put my intro, and that's it. And I'm sure people are going to say, you just don't like TNA anymore. And I do. I love this company. But I got to be honest. I'm being honest to you guys. That's just me. Peace.